Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and for today's practice we are going to do a cooling yin yoga for summer. So if you are in a part of the world that is in summertime right now and you're dealing with heat and excess sort of heat energy in the body, this will be a great practice to help you cool down. We're going to utilize the floor and the wall today. So make sure that you're set up close to a wall, and hopefully those surfaces in your home can provide you with some cooling relief. Hop into something comfortable, and we'll start our practice today without any props at all, on the belly. So come on down. So you'll come onto your belly and you'll make a little pillow with the hands here for the head. You can wiggle out the hips as you come down. And maybe pick up one foot and take it to the outer corner of your mat and then the other. That creates a little bit of space in the low back. And then you can just stack your palms or maybe interlace your fingers. Elbows are out to the sides, and then just bring the forehead straight down. Relaxing the shoulders. Closing the eyes. And we'll begin with some big, deep belly breaths here. We call these crocodile breaths. So just as you inhale, letting the belly push into the floor, feeling that sort of sensory experience. And then as you exhale, you'll feel the belly melt back towards the floor, towards your mat. Really breathe into the belly, feel the low back expand. And let the breath out nice and slow, feel everything melt. Maybe imagine an ice cube melting. We'll take a few more breaths like that. Noticing if you have a tendency to sort of push the breath to a place of tension, just let it be a little bit softer instead. This is a great posture for anxiety. Often when we have excess heat in the body, it kind of comes off as anxiety or frustration, maybe anger. And putting the forehead down, specifically having some pressure in the forehead onto the hands or onto the floor, actually triggers the neurological response to help the body start to calm down that nervous system and to come back into a state of relaxation, ease, and rest. So let's take another big breath into the belly here. And then lift your head up off the floor, bring your elbows under your shoulders, and then take a big open mouth cleansing breath. Coming into Sphinx pose, just lifting yourself up and making any adjustments that you need to make here. Again, if there's crankiness in the low back, adjust your feet, adjust your hips. And then we'll just find some lift through the upper body here, and we're going to slide our left knee up along the floor so that the knee is sort of parallel to the hips, in line with the hip. And then this shin can be either at a 90-degree angle. If it feels good to you to take it further out, that's great. If it feels better to kind of tuck it in, that's fine too. Just do what feels good for you, your body. And just settle into the bones here. Close down your eyes as you come into this sort of hybrid of frog pose and Sphinx. And again, focus on the sensation of the breath, pressing into the floor, really directing the breath today down into the belly. Letting your emotions cool down. if you have any excess emotional energy today. Maybe envisioning some cooling water, waterfall, a cool running river or stream. If it's too much to stay up on the elbows, you can walk your elbows out a little further so that this is less intense for the upper body, or you could cactus the arms and come down, turning your head to the left. We'll be here for just about 5 more breaths in either variation, whether you're upright or closer to the floor. Notice if you're gripping through the glutes at all. Relax that space. And then if you are laying down on the floor as I am, peel yourself back up to Sphinx. We're going to take the left arm straight forward, creating space between the underarm and the floor so that we can slide the right arm under and then just roll onto your back. However you need to get there. You can push into the left hand, and as you come onto your back, that left knee pulls up and into the chest. And so once you're on your back, you can press into the back of the head and sneak your shoulders underneath you to the right a little bit more. And then just make sure that that left shoulder is melting down towards the floor, palm open to the sky. Just enjoy being away from the floor on the front body now. Just take some nice sort of wringing out breaths. If it's helpful, you can use this sort of light yin style ujjayi breathing to call in that oceanic quality of water, that subtle constriction in the back of the throat. This creates a great anchor for the mind too, if the mind is apt to wander. Use that little bit of sound that you're creating to keep yourself focused and serene. Let's take one last big inhale in the twist on the back here. And then with the exhale, that left arm is going to come up and over as you roll back onto the belly. Extend the left leg straight behind you and come back into Sphinx. Take a moment here in Sphinx to adjust the low body, to do whatever you need to do with the upper body. Maybe a moment to kind of sway side to side. I like that for the ribs. Maybe your neck needs a little attention today and you'd like to sort of dip the chin down to the chest and make this half circle pattern, shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear. Good. You can stay exactly as you are. We're just going to take a few more breaths here in Sphinx, but if you'd like more space, take the hands further forward and out and come up into seal pose. Just check that you're not gripping through the low body. You're relaxed through the legs. Just about 4 more breaths, either in Sphinx or seal. Remember not to push your practice. Let it unfold. This is yin. So last breath wherever you are. And if you're in seal, come back to Sphinx, and then we're going to slide that right knee up so that it's in line with the right hip. And then again, you can stay here up on the elbows, or if it feels like too much, you could come down onto the belly, cactusing the arms, turning your head to the right side. And just soften here. Let gravity and the structure of the floor and your body be the container for this posture. So no efforting from your muscles. If you find muscles turned on, just turn them off with a smile. Relax, release. Take about 5 more breaths here. So if you're lifted and you'd like to come down, feel free. Anytime you feel excess heat in the body, just take a big open mouth cleansing breath. Imagine it all leaving on the breath. Like opening the door of an oven. And if you're down on your belly, take one more inhale. And then come back up to Sphinx. Take the right fingertips forward, straightening the arm so that we can sneak the left arm under and roll ourselves into this twist. As you come onto the back, you might come off of your mat. Bring the knee up and into the belly. And then give yourself permission to take up space. So come off the mat. And just push into the back of the head so that you can sneak the shoulders underneath you. And settle down through that right shoulder. Get that nice twist through the outer right hip. So head can be neutral, or maybe gaze rolls to your right. Left hand can rest on the thigh here, or it can just cactus and mirror the other as we relax. And the mind becomes frenzied. Just bring it back to the present moment. Remind your body, your mind, that there's nothing more important we could be doing here than doing this work to restore the body, the mind, and to rest. Let's take one more big deep inhale and then twist. And then exhale, roll back to your belly. Bring your hands by your ribs and then peel yourself up off the floor. Come to tabletop. Just stacking your joints here for a little free movements, some cats and cows. Be really gentle with the low back. So if you do take cat pose. Just take it with caution, with mindfulness. Whatever feels good here. If you'd like to pull back to child's pose for a breath or two, if there's something else you're craving before we come to the wall, take that now. And then we're going to come through to seated and set ourselves up at the wall for a couple postures here to end. So you can take some padding under the hips for this. I like a folded blanket underneath my hips, but that's not necessary. You can do this just on the ground. And you're just going to come close to the wall and then spin yourself down onto your back and then swing the legs up to the wall. And you can just wiggle your butt a little bit closer here as we come in. So we'll start with a wall butterfly. Bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees open wide. And you can decide how far away from the wall or how close you are, how much support you want under the hips, or if you'd like to be all the way onto the floor without padding, it's just a little bit deeper of a release. So from here, if the knees are struggling to open, you can just rest the palms on the thighs and use your arms to help open the hips here. Conversely, you might take a cactus with the elbows and just let the arms rest, maybe a diamond shape, kind of mirroring the legs. That might feel nice. We're just going to enjoy this deep opening through the inner thigh. Enjoy the coolness of the wall against your outer ankles, maybe even your outer shins. And you can stay exactly as you are here. Or if you'd like more and you've got the space, you might take this into a wall straddle, extending both legs out into a big V shape. Just letting gravity pull the legs down. Just be cautious not to force anything. And again, if you need support, you can just use your hands to support the outer thighs here. Just letting the body be really spacious to help open up that any physical heat that might have accumulated in the tightness of sort of the inner thighs, maybe the armpits. You take the arms to a big Y shape as well. Just letting air circulate around the body here, softening into this big deep stretch. The more you can relax, the more you might be surprised at your body's willingness or eagerness to open that little bit more. As best you can, stay mentally at the edge of the sensation, maybe sending the breath to wherever the tension or tightness is in the inner thighs and the hips. You could envision a swirling pool of water there, and your breath sort of facilitates the movement of that water, the hydration of those tissues, the opening of those joints. Let's take one last big deep breath, either in butterfly or this wall straddle. And then with your exhale, you're slowly going to extend both legs straight up the wall. And maybe point and flex through the feet. And you could roll out your ankles. You could adjust, maybe scooching yourself a little closer to the wall or further away if that feels better. And then just find a space, maybe you bounce out the legs here where you're really not doing any efforting at all. The wall and the floor have got you. Whatever feels good with your arms and your upper body is perfect. Maybe if you have an eye pillow, you could drape that over the eyes, a silk one, nice and cooling. Maybe some lavender or eucalyptus. We'll take a cooling breath work here in our final posture. This is called sitali pranayama. So for this breath, you're going to purse the lips and make a little tiny U shape with the tongue if you can. And we're going to breathe in through the nose and then out as if you were blowing out a straw over the tongue through that little U shape. So inhale through the nose. Purse the lips, make that little U shape with the tongue. Then breathe out. Feel that cool air. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through pursed lips. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through pursed lips and over the tongue. We'll do one more like this and then we'll reverse the pattern. Bring the tongue back into the mouth and swallow. And then we're going to make that same shape. This time we're going to breathe in through the mouth, over the tongue. Close the lips, breathe out through the nose. Take 4 more like that. If it feels drying, focus instead on the sensation of cooling. And then just enjoy wetting the tongue between each breath. One more cycle. And then let go of the breath. Let go of any efforting or tension in the body. Softening the muscles of the forehead, around the eyes, all the way down the body. To the ankles, to the soles of the feet. Relaxing deeper and deeper. Letting go a little bit more with every exhale breath. Maybe with the legs up the wall, you can imagine a waterfall just pouring over you, pooling. Imagine yourself laying in that cool, crisp, clear water. Water rolling over your feet. Allow yourself to be soothed by this image, this vision. And stay here for as long as you can today. Maybe pausing the video and really staying for a time. And if you have limited time today and you'd like to finish this practice together, take one more big deep inhale. And then a big audible sigh. Float your eyes open. Rock the head a little side to side on the floor. Stretch through the feet and ankles. Wiggle the toes. Reach your arms back. Stretch through the hands. And then slide the feet down the wall. You can push yourself away and kind of do a little hip walk to come away from the wall, and then hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze here, a little rock side to side. And then rolling onto one side, you could peel yourself away from the floor and make the transition back to seated. Once you're seated, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And take a moment to just notice how you feel. You can bring the hands together in front of the heart space, or maybe one hand on top of the other at the heart. And just bow your head in gratitude to yourself for taking time to take care of you, for taking time for this practice. Set an intention to remember this feeling and to come back to the mat anytime you're seeking this solace, this clarity, this ease. When you're ready, you can release your hands, blink open your eyes, release your practice. And I thank you so, so much for spending some time with me here on the mat. If you liked this practice, let me know in the comments down below. I love teaching this kind of cooling style of yin. If you wouldn't mind, I would love a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it, and a subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I put out new content every Monday, and I will soon be posting live videos so we can all practice together here on YouTube. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you next time. Until then, much love and peace. Bye.